Alright, now we've got the time and we've got the space, let's relax and get it all done. Of course, everything I say applies to me. I have no idea who I'm talking to. You don't need to relax, you can get all uptight if you want. So we're halfway through the film then. We can finish it now. So we get into the Death Star now. As we go into the Death Star, which is this great whale here. It's also like represents Jupiter, like the largest one. So then the group split up. R2-D2 and C-3PO stay behind in the belly of the beast, where they're held captive, and then Obi-Wan goes off to turn off the tractor beam. Like, this is tractor beam which holds them in place, and Obi-Wan's just going to switch it off. So then the others then take the elevator up to, or down, I don't know, to go and rescue the princess, who's still in chains, or captured. Of course, on the way, of course, they chain up Chewbacca. They put Chewbacca, handcuffs on Chewbacca, and then this little droid flies by his feet and annoys him. So then they go rescue the princess. It says, "Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?" As we see the stormtrooper again. But then you know, the enemy attacks, and they have to go down the garbage chute into the water, like the lower portions, the waste disposal area. If you go down there, underneath the water, of course, there's this a monster under the water, which attacks them. Like in Luke fights with it, like it gets Luke. And it sticks up an eye. But then it suddenly disappears, and then the walls start closing in, like so. So they stick up these beams, like to try and stop the walls from squashing them. Like, but they just bend. The walls just come in and bend them. Like while R2-D2 is furiously spinning this wheel, trying to move them out of the situation. And come across more trouble, like, and then they go like split up again, and then Luke and Leia go swinging across this gap, like swing across. And then meanwhile, of course, Vader and Obi-Wan then have this lightsaber fight, like they're crossing tips there. And all that's going on, and then they all meet back together again, and then but they're in a no-win situation. So well, they're all like inches away from freedom, but you know, Obi-Wan is trapped, while Luke is reaching out to him, coming to set him free. But it's a no-win situation, so Obi-Wan then sacrifices himself, so the others can go free and have life. And then they escape then, and then they go back then to the rebels. But then of course the Death Star follows them back and attacks them. So the Death Star comes to attack, and then we have this little fight in space, like and the goats, the diplomats just sit there useless, can't do anything, while all these this battle goes on. Like we have the X-wings and the Y-wings and TIE fighters, like all fighting together in space, like as the Death Star approaches to come and destroy the rebels. And Luke as a fight, like we have this formation of three, which comes after Luke, like, and the one in the middle is Vader, who like attacks him, like, and like bits fly off the ship and that, and R2D2 gets his head blown off, like, you know, and the ship gets hit in the arm as well, like. So they have their fight, like, and then Aquila, Han Solo in the Millennium Falcon, suddenly turns up at the last moment to come in and save them, like, and he clears the way, so Luke can get his shot at the Death Star, which then blows up, and it's then judgment for the Empire. And this is also R2D2 damaged, being pulled out later. So then the princess then watches as the Death Star explodes. And now Luke used the Force to succeed, so it was the invisible Force power which defeated this great power of the Empire, their great weapon. It was the Force behind it all, and that was what was responsible, and that pours out its wrath upon Vader, but he slithers away, he escapes, off to fight another day. Then we have this like award ceremony where people have medals put around the neck, and then after they've had the medals put on, they all stand on this stage while all the people watch them, and then the film ends. You know, and that was remember, this was just like the opening credit sequence. Like, so this is the beginning and the end of the film Gemini. Often the end meets the beginning. So there you go. There's the whole film. Every part of it is this. It's not Star Wars. It's Constellation Wars. Now you could, of course, you could say that these things are intentional. Bob Dylan looked at the stars and said, "I'll write a song about that." You know, Star Wars, Constellation Wars. You know, but as I said, every single one that I've looked at, every film, every TV episode is this. It's just this. I mean, look at my film. I mean, I began making it about 2 years ago. And then made it over the course of several months and that. And it's the same as this. Like, you know, as it begins, my film begins with like, it's serpent beings fighting. Like a serpent, like humanoid serpents, but you know, you have a man and a serpent fighting, so it's like humanoid serpents fighting each other in the beginning. And in the beginning they just wrestle with their arms, but then they start picking up guns, they start making guns and shooting each other. But then they take that too far and judgment comes upon them, and most of them are lying down dead now, like they nearly wipe themselves out because they just keep killing each other. So then they start reaching out to the light, which comes to them, and so on and on and on and on and on. You know? So like, every time we get to this point, of course, we have this fight going on between these serpent beings, but I think it's the final time, I'm not sure, it goes around about 3 or 4 times, but like the final time, that we have literally a fight between a man and a serpent in my film. When it gets to this point for I think about the 3rd time or something. Each time it gets to this point there's a fight, like. And but it is literally a man and a serpent, and it's this exact same thing happens. Like the first thing that happens is the man suddenly pulls out a gun and shoots a serpent. And then the second serpent runs at him, like suddenly, and attacks him. Like, and he drops his gun, which is like a rifle which cocks, like, a shotgun rather, which cocks, like, falls over, you know, knocks it out of his hand and attacks him, and the two fight, and then the man grabs hold of the serpent, like tries to strangle him. But then the serpent attacks the man again, like, and breaks his skull, like, So the serpent won this fight, but it's everything that's there. That's, you know, and that's just a small part of it. It's goes on and on and on. And as I said about this loop, I mean, I've seen this loop go on and on and on many times in different films, but in mine, like when you get to this point, like it's interactive. Like the viewer can choose what they do next. Like, so they can go one way or they can go another. You know, so the viewer gets to choose. But also, if they make the wrong choice, they can get stuck in a loop. Like there's like a trap in the film. If you make the wrong choice, you can get stuck in this repeating time loop, and you just have to keep watching the same things over and over again until you get it right. So there's like a loop, literally, in the film at that exact point, you know, and it just goes on and on and on. So it's everywhere, you know. I went on a camping trip, and it was, you know, I just thought about a random thing from your life, and oh, this camping trip I went on, and it was this, everything. All the things that happened were pictured here. So, you know, it's everywhere. I mean, with audio-visual synchronicity, I mean, I've really spent a lot of time examining that, but with this, you know, I've not spent a lot of time examining it, so I can't say for sure, but so far everything that I've looked at lines up with this. And of course this. And this. And this. It's all lined up together. So we'll move on now to these four animals, and let's mention a little about these then, because as we said, these are all the different people like in the world, like these four different types of people, and you'll see this in films as well, and TV shows. Like normally you have these four characters who are based upon these four animals. You know, as we saw in Star Wars. So, originally when I first noticed this in you know, in films and that, it was like I called them like the Wizard of Oz character set, because you got like the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, the Cowardly Lion, and Dorothy. So like the Great Beast, what I've noticed is this will usually be like a powerful, like a beast-like character, or you know, a robot or something, or you know, an alien, or a Tin Man, you know, the Tin Man, or Chewbacca, you know, the Great Beast. You know, and often doesn't have a heart, like heartless, like the dog is like the Scarecrow. Is like a usually shabby, usually the stupid one. Like it's not very clever. But you know, can also be aggressive, but also loyal. You know, it's very much like a dog. You know, it's like the Scarecrow. Like he's a bit shabby and stupid and that, and dirty, but he carries a gun and he looks after Dorothy. The rabbit, of course, is the peaceful one, the Cowardly Lion. You know, as we saw with Obi-Wan, you know, he may have the power of a lion, but he doesn't use it. He just prefers not to fight, whether it's out of cowardice or just morals and intelligence. He just chooses to find the peaceful way to solve his problems. Often has some an interest, like which is like peaceful. And then the bird is usually the main character, like is usually the least interesting one. Like these others, like normally have the characters, and this one's a bit dull. Like this is like what the viewer like an empty space for the viewer to put themselves in. Like they don't have much character, so the viewer can put their own character in there and imagine themselves as this person. You know, and they often have some kind of special ability which lifts them above, like all the other characters, or sometimes the special ability will merely be that they're the main character, which we follow. So there you go. So it's got Dorothy, of course. Another common film. In fact, maybe I should have picked The Wizard of Oz. Haven't you? I was thinking maybe we should look at that now, but I don't know. So there you go. I don't really know where to go from here. So we're done. I've already done the final closing remarks for this, because we were supposed to be finished before. So we're done then. And I don't know whether to continue with something else or to go into this more, but nothing's coming to mind at the moment. So let's end the video there. So there you go. There's something for you to look into. You can, as I say, the more you examine these things, the more wisdom comes out of it. The more you begin to understand what's going on in the world, what's happening, why we're here, what's going on. And of course, another thing I should say is we've been linking Jesus Christ, the God of Israel, to all this. You know, as I said, it lines up with everything. So you couldn't say then it's all about that God, although, as we see, everything that God reveals is all about this. But as to which is the true God, which is the real God, which is the worthwhile God to worship, then, you know, that's for you to ask. The real God can hear you right now, can hear us right now, is watching us and understands, and all you have to do is reach out. And, you know, if you're having trouble, then all you have to do is just listen to your conscience, which is telling you what you're doing wrong. Like you're doing something which isn't good, which is getting in the way. And you just have to just make a little effort to stop doing that. And then as if you show that you're physically doing something, you're physically making an effort, you're serious about knowing God, then He will surely come to you, because He's your Father. He's the Father. He loves you. And He's awesome. He's amazing. And His mercy is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So go and meet Him. Go and find Him, because He's amazing. And He'll show you things, and He'll do things, and He'll show you that He's magic. He's in control of everything. And He'll teach you things like not just theoretical things, but useful things to help you. So go and meet Him. Go away from me. I'm done. See ya. Bye.